This next sum is from V Ganeshan, unsolved question number 2. So see, in this question, it is a slightly different question in terms that they have given a formula for the specific gravity. Okay, we will first read through the entire question. They have asked us to calculate the diameter of the fuel orifice of a 4-stroke engine which develops 20 kilowatt per cylinder. So they have directly given us the power developed, brake power developed by each cylinder. So we don't have to worry about the number of cylinders. The engine speed is given as 2000 rpm. The specific fuel consumption is 0.25 kg per kilowatt hour. That is your BSFC of fuel with 30-degree API. I will come to this API in just a minute. The fuel is injected at a pressure of 180 bar. So the pressure inside the injector is 180 bar over a crank travel of 25 degree. So theta is equal to 25 degree. The pressure in the combustion chamber is 38 bar. So P injection is 180 bar and P cylinder is 38 bar. So delta P will be 180 minus 38, that is 142 bar. The coefficient of velocity is 0.85, that is the coefficient of discharge of the injector is 0.85, and the specific gravity is given by this formula. See, what happens, the specific gravity is like directly proportional to the density of the fuel. The more the specific gravity, more is the density of the fuel. So what happens, as the temperature of the fuel increases, the density of the fuel goes on decreasing. As with any liquid, as the temperature increases, the density decreases. So that is what they are giving through this formula. See, at 30 degrees, the specific gravity will be something. You have to put 30 over here. But imagine that the temperature increases. Imagine that the temperature increases to 40 degrees. So what will happen? Here there will be 40. The value of the denominator will increase. And as the value of the denominator increases, the value of specific gravity will decrease. Thus, with an increase in temperature, there will be a decrease in the specific gravity. In this sum, when we have to find the density of the fuel, we will have to find the specific gravity, and to find the specific gravity, we will just have to substitute this 30 over here in API, and that will give us the specific gravity of the fuel. So we will solve this sum now.
So as always, we will first start off by writing the given data. So after writing the given data, we will write what we have to find. So as I said in the second video, that there will always be some kind of a twist in any given question. So in this question, the twist is in the specific gravity. See, they haven't given us the value of specific gravity directly. They have told us that specific gravity is 141.5 divided by 131.5 plus degree API. So what is this? This is a kind of measurement of specific gravity. See, specific gravity is kind of a density. Okay, so density changes with the change in temperature. So the value at this point, so at 30-degree API, the specific gravity will be this. As the temperature goes on increasing, let us say the temperature increases to 40 degrees. So what is going to happen? Here there will be 40. So the denominator will increase. So the specific gravity will decrease. And because of the decrease in specific gravity, there will also be a decrease in the density. So this formula is a much more accurate representation of how specific gravity changes with change in temperature. As temperature goes on increasing, the specific gravity of the diesel goes on decreasing. So in our case, we will first have to find out the specific gravity. So that will be our next step. So specific gravity is given as what? 141.5 divided by 131.5 plus degree API. And what is our degree API? 30. So substituting the value 30 over here, we will get so we are getting 0.876. So this is our specific gravity. And we know what is the density of the fuel. So density of fuel is specific gravity multiplied by density of water. That is specific gravity of any substance. Density of any substance is the specific gravity of that substance multiplied by the density of water. And density of water is 1000 kg per meter cube. So density of fuel becomes 0.876 into 1000, which is 876 kg per meter cube. So that is the density of the fuel. So they have asked us to find the diameter of the fuel orifice. So if you remember, we have one main formula. For all these injector sums, we have one main formula. Quantity of fuel injected is equal to area of the orifice into velocity of injection into theta upon 720. 720 because it is a 4-stroke engine. If it was a 2-stroke engine, this would have been 360. So first we will have to find Q. We will also have to find velocity of injection. They have given us theta directly. Theta is 25 degree. 720 is known to us. Okay. So to find the quantity of fuel injected, Q is what? Quantity of fuel injected in 1 second. So that will be our next step. So our step 4 will be to find the quantity of fuel injected. So that is what we are going to do. Now to find the quantity of fuel injected, we will always start off with our usual formula, that of the BSFC. So BSFC is equal to rate of fuel consumption divided by brake power. Rate of fuel consumption is in kg per hour and brake power is in kilowatt. So from here, rate of fuel consumption becomes BSFC into brake power, which will be what? BSFC is what? 0.25 kg per kilowatt hour. And what is the brake power they have given us? 20 kilowatt per cylinder. They have directly given us per cylinder. So calculating this, we get 5 kg per hour because rate of fuel consumption is in kg per hour. We have taken BSFC in kg per kilowatt hour and brake power in kilowatt. Rate of fuel consumption is 5 kg per hour, but we are not interested in per hour. We are interested in per second. So rate of fuel consumption becomes 5 divided by 3600 kg per second because there are 3600 seconds in 1 hour. Okay. So this is our mass per second. But are we interested in kg per second? No. We want it in what? Volume per second. So what do we have to do? We have to convert mass into volume. So how are we going to convert mass into volume? Using the formula of density. Density is mass upon volume. So volume becomes mass divided by density. So volume flow rate, which is also Q, is what? Mass flow rate divided by density. That is what we are going to do over here. So Q is mass flow rate divided by density. And what is the density? 876. So this becomes 5 divided by 3600 into 876, which is 1.585 into 10 raised to minus 6 meter cube per second. That is the quantity of fuel injected per second. So we found that. Next we have to find the velocity of injection. So the formula for velocity of injection, you should know it by now. CD square root of 2 delta P upon rho, where CD coefficient of discharge, coefficient of velocity has been given 0.85 into square root of 2 into delta P. Delta P is difference in pressure between the injector and the combustion chamber. So that is 180 minus 38. So 180 minus 38 is 142 and 10 raised to 5 because 1 bar is 10 raised to 5 Pascal divided by what? Density. Density is 876. So this will come out to be 153.05 meter per second. So now we know the Q, we know the velocity of injection, we know theta, we know 720. We have to find diameter of the fuel orifice. We can find the area, and using the formula pi by 4 d square, we can find the diameter. So substituting these two values in this formula. So 1.585 into 10 raised to minus 6, that is Q, is equal to area into velocity. Velocity is 153.05 into theta. Theta is what? 25 degree crank angle divided by 720. So our area will become 1.585 into 10 raised to minus 6 into 720 divided by 153.05 into 25. This comes out to be 2.98 into 10 raised to minus 7. What will be the unit? Meter square. We can also write this as 0.298 into 10 raised to minus 6 meter square, taking it once over here. Okay, and because it is 10 raised to minus 6, it will become 0.298 millimeter square. Okay, so from area we now have to find the diameter. So as we know, area is equal to pi by 4 d square. Substituting the value 0.298 is equal to pi by 4 d square. The answer will come in millimeter because we are using millimeter square over here. Okay, so d becomes 0.298 into 4 divided by pi square root is equal to square root of 0.298 into 4 divided by, comes out to be 0.616 mm. So this is the diameter of the orifice. If you see the textbook, the answer is different, but take it from me, the answer that we have found is correct. The textbook answer is wrong in this case. Okay, so the diameter is 0.616 mm.